So, welcome back. I missed last month because life was chaotic, is chaotic. I have just recently, last week I think, passed my 2-year anniversary on testosterone. Definitely in a different place than I was 2 years ago, in so many ways. I was planning to make a September video for Talk Like a Pirate Day, but that didn't happen. And then I was planning to make this spooky Halloween video, but my mood has been dampened a little bit by recent things in the news. I'm never sure 100% who my audience is. I know my friends watch these videos, which is awesome. But I don't know beyond that who's watching them. But a large part of why I decided to make these was for myself. This is for my own being able to look back and see historically where I was at and where life was at when I made these. So it is a historical journal for my own purpose as well. And just in the past week, oh God, is it only Tuesday? In the past week or so, there's been new stuff in the news. The Trump administration is trying to create laws that bring us back to gender designations of only male or female as assigned at birth, to be determined by genitalia and or genetic testing if needed to back that up. There's a lot of problems with that. I don't think I even need to go into how many problems there are with that. The fact that genitalia and documentation at this point in time can be altered is only a small part of that, just of the issues they would face enforcing it. Aside from all the many issues, of course, with this being scientifically wrong, to put it simply. Yeah, I don't know what to think of it. I would say I am. I don't think it's going to be enforceable. I don't think it's something that's ultimately going to succeed. That doesn't mean it won't be a world of trouble in the meantime. And certainly every act like this that is suggested encourages bigots and people who are anti-trans. It shows them public support for their viewpoint. And that's a whole mess of trouble right there. But yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to keep in mind is we are almost at the halfway point in this administration. And for every piece of progress, it's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And unfortunately right now, we're in a step back. And that really sucks. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it and say, oh, everything's going to turn out okay. This is just, talk. It's not. This one may or may not go through. Something else may or may not go through. There's trouble. I think that the trouble is probably temporary, but how long is temporary? We're in a very different place now than we were. Public support for LGBTQIA people is growing. I think a part of that is that more people are able, because of the safer environment culturally, to come out. And the more people that come out, the more people who aren't out or aren't LGBTQIA go, oh, I know someone who is. That changes their perspective. which opens up a more welcoming cultural environment, which allows more people to come out. It is a snowball effect, but it's a damn slow snowball. But it's happening. When I was in my 20s, I had never heard the term transgender. We're in a very different place than we were 10, 20, 30 years ago. There is progress being made, but it's rough. Progress is still an ugly process. So, yeah, we could be in a better place. On a personal level, I'm in a pretty damn good place for all the chaos that's going on in the world right now. I took a step back to assess the other day, and I mean, there's a lot of benchmarks for being an adult that no longer exist, or at least are not easily obtainable the way that they were a generation ago. We don't own our own home. We're never having kids. That's a personal choice, not just not able to. But we have insane cats. I don't know if the audio picked up my cat tearing past. But we're safe. We've got a decent house. We don't own it. We're renting. But we have a good place to live. My wife and I are both in relatively good places job-wise. She's a medical coder, and she's still paying off student loans. But she keeps gradually, getting raises, getting leveled up. I'm in a place that could ostensibly be considered a career, which is quite frankly a first for me. I haven't talked about this on the videos for anybody that isn't me that's watching this, but I don't want to say a rocky job history. I think when somebody looks at my resume, I mean, I've stayed most places for a decent length of time, a year or more, often several years, but goddamn does it bounce around. I've worked at a video store, I've worked at a dry cleaners, I've worked at a quilting store, I've worked selling sewing machines. It's a lot of retail, and there is no career path there. Retail is not a career path, and that's unfortunate. Where we're at, a lot of people are not afforded a career path. I mean, realistically, I got very lucky to be where I am. And the job that I'm in now, working at a veterinary hospital, I'm not a tech. I'm certainly never going to be a veterinarian. But I'm a veterinary assistant / office manager, which is a combination I probably couldn't do at a larger practice. But we're a small practice. I've gotten a lot of on-the-job learning. I've been very lucky for that. And it's a job that you can do without a degree. I have a degree. It's in graphic design. Super useful. I technically worked at the place I had my internship at for like 2-3 months after my internship finished. But yeah, never really had a long-term gig that was graphic design. I won't say it was useless. I learned things, and things that I have since used, but it hasn't made a career for me. And at the time I picked that degree because I thought it could. But a lot of us have been misled in our education. And I know there's a lot of criticism for, you shouldn't pick the degrees that you picked. Yeah, well, at the time I was told I should. So there's that. But yeah, where I'm at now, physically, I'm not 100% where I would like to be, but I'm so much further than I was. I look in the mirror and I see a face that is mine, and I don't know if this is inherently true for other trans people. I've seen talk that goes both ways. I've seen talk of people just not liking what they saw in the mirror, but I, for pretty much all of my life, have had a very clear disassociation with what I saw in the mirror. I knew objectively that was my face, but there was no recognition of that's me. And that is something that just in the past year, I suddenly have. And it is so weird, and it is so good to be able to look in the mirror and be like, that's me. That's me. I'm looking pretty good. I'm not, a Hollywood leading man, but I'm not bad looking as a guy. I'm okay. I might be average. I'm okay with that. But, yeah, so I have allergies. That's fun. But the path that I've taken to get here has not been super easy. It has cost money, which people who don't know how trans things work, I think, are not necessarily cognizant of that aspect of it. It costs a lot of money to transition. It costs so much more money than I have right now because I still have breasts. I would really like to be rid of those. And that is not a surgery that insurance generally covers. And I still have no clue how I'm going to pay for that. I mean, paying rent and bills and paying on my wife's student loan, that's about all we can handle right now. And I'm trying as hard as I can to squirrel money away, but we're talking thousands of dollars. And between the two of us, we don't ever have thousands of dollars. It's not, and she's got a good paying job as a medical coder, and I've got a decently paying job working in a veterinarian hospital. These are not minimum wage jobs. But where we are, we can't afford much, and we're not living in the lap of luxury, and we're not excessively spending. I know I'm surrounded by Halloween decorations, but these are decorations that I've bought maybe like 2 a year. That it's taken time to pull together. We don't tend to spend excessively. Probably our biggest sin is coming home after a 10-hour workday and not wanting to cook dinner and buying, takeout. But, yeah, I don't think we spend excessively. But we'll get there. I didn't mean to get off topic. I know that it'll get there sooner or later, even if whether insurance mandates ultimately change or whether we have to do a GoFundMe, which I do see a lot of guys do. We'll figure out a way to make it happen. Anyways, still, where I'm at now, it's not bad. My birthday's coming up. Oh God, it's tomorrow. I forgot that. I was going to say this week, but it's tomorrow. Our friend that had moved out, which we're still sad about that, Z's coming to visit this Thursday, and we'll be here for a week. So at least we get to be together some over Halloween. We're going to do the Richmond Zombie Walk, so I'll probably be putting up video and or photos of the zombie walk again. If you search my channel, you'll find last year's video. I got some good photos. I don't know if we'll be in it or if we'll just be taking pictures of it, but it is an awesome thing to see. So check out the Richmond Zombie Walk if you're in the area. They do it in Carytown, and it'll be this Saturday, the 27th. So plug for that. Yeah, I do have a song to sing, and it's not a super short one, so I guess I will get to that and maybe ramble a little more afterwards. Trying to make up for missing last month with a longer video today that hopefully the cats won't ruin. Or my allergies. Hold that thought. Okay, time to edit. When the devil is too busy and death's a bit too much, They call on me by name, you see, for my special touch. To the gentlemen, I'm misfortune. To the ladies, I'm surprise. But call me by any name, anyway, it's all the same. I'm the fly in your soup, I'm the pebble in your shoe, I'm the pea beneath your bed, I'm the bump on every head, I'm the peel on which you slip, I'm the pain in every hip, I'm the thorn in your side, makes you wriggle and writhe. And it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. While there's children to make sad, while there's candy to be had, while there's pockets left to pick, while there's grannies left to trip down the stairs, I'll be there. I'll be waiting round the corner. It's a game, I'm glad I'm in it, 'cause there's one born every minute. And it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. I pledge my allegiance to all things dark, and I promise on my damned soul to do as I am told, for Beelzebub has never seen a soldier quite like me. Not only does his job, but does it happily. I'm the fear that keeps you awake, I'm the shadows on the wall, I'm the monsters they become, I'm the nightmares in your skull, I'm the dagger in your back, an extra turn upon the rack, I'm the quivering of your heart, stabbing pain, a sudden start. And it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me. I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. It gets so lonely being evil. What I'd do to see a smile, even for a little while. And no one loves you when you're evil. I'm lying through my teeth, your tears are all the company I need. That was When You're Evil by Voltaire, Aurelio Voltaire. I will give him the assumption that it was deliberate, but that song was very much a tango, just the rhythm, and I've liked it from the first time I've heard it, but I never quite memorized it, so I had a cheat sheet of lyrics while I was singing it. So Aurelio Voltaire is awesome. He has a YouTube channel if you want to check it out. If you're scared off by the goth appearance and sensibilities, don't worry, he's actually a big geek. There's videos of him dressed as Doctor Strange long before the movie came out. He has an album that's based on Star Trek. He's a geek with gothic sensibilities, gothic aesthetic, if you will. But awesome guy, awesome music. I don't think he's truly a bass, but he's a good deep baritone. So I should probably memorize more of his work, because I think it does fit my current vocal range well. And he's got a fair amount of stuff that stands well a cappella, even though he doesn't perform it that way. But that's definitely something I look for, music that is not dependent on the instrumentals to sound good. what I meant for choosing that song in today's current political climate, I will leave entirely up to the mind of the audience. And once again, on a more serious note, we're definitely in rough times. But yeah, I always hope that there might be other trans people watching this, and I try to be cognizant of that. If you're having a rough time, the more of us there are, the harder it is to ignore our voices. If you're having trouble finding something to hold on for in these current times, then you can try thinking of that. I mean, if you can't hold on for yourself, try and hold on for your brothers and sisters out there, and NBs out there, because we're all in this together. And like I said earlier, it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Historically, that's been the way that it is, but we're not in the same place now that we were in when the Stonewall riots happened. It's important to be very aware of that history, of the struggle that we have been through to get to where we are. But, when I was growing up, we didn't have movies portraying transgender people in a positive light. We didn't have celebrities coming out publicly and being like, guess what? This is me, deal with it. We didn't have the awareness that we have now. And with awareness comes progress. With awareness also comes a backlash of bias. That is inevitable. When you're an invisible population, there's not going to be anybody speaking out against you. But when you become more visible, there's always going to be people that go, hey, wait a minute, that's not the status quo, I have a problem with that. And those people are always going to be a voice. They are not necessarily going to be the loudest voice. I see a lot of supporters, a lot of allies out there. And that's not to be ignored. But progress is a form of transition. And transitioning is rough and it's rocky. And if there's anybody that knows that, it's transgender people. So, we're going to get to a place that we haven't been before, and it's going to be a better place. But it's not going to be an easy path to get there. But we will get there. So try and remember that, and I will continue to try to do these monthly, even though I missed last month. So I will try to see you guys again in November. As always, you're very welcome to comment. I'm responsive to comments on the video. I might not get to it immediately that day, but within a day or two. So feel free to chat with me. I'm very open. I don't bite. Happy Halloween, and stick with me, and I'll be talking at you next month and singing at you. I have no idea what. I'll figure out when it's closer to time. Yeah. Till next time.